All right, here we go. So you are probably wondering what settings I use for my newer videos because like I don't know if you like it or not, but you probably think it's better and you probably think it's good. Then you probably are wondering, like what settings do you use for these videos? Well, I'll show you right now. So I'm using OBS Studio like always. That way I don't have to write it every single time in the video. I could just show you guys on YouTube how to do this. Make a lot more sense. It'd be easier on video than it would be on paper or on text. So anyways, this you don't have to worry about. Stream you don't have to worry about because OBS, for some reason OBS Studio kind of sucks for streaming, but for recording it's really good. So this will say output mode, simple, advanced. Always choose advanced. Recording, instead of custom output, you put standard. This doesn't really matter. This does. Now, I think MKV and MOV work, but to be on the safe side, do MP4, but do not do FLV because FLV does not support multiple audio tracks. It only supports one. So you click all four of these. I mean, you might not even have to use all these, but just use them anyway. And then this, don't use stream encoder. Don't use this either. Either use this or that, but I would not recommend this unless you have unless you want to record with the processor, do not use this. But if you do want to record with the processor, do this. If you want to record like how I do it, you use this one. I mean, I think it's better to record with the graphics card since it's like about the same quality. It's more customizable and it just doesn't take a hit on your system. That's what I like about it. So I use this. I don't know what OBS uses. I don't know if it can use anything like this. I'd have to figure that out. But if you have a NVIDIA graphics card, use this because it's a lot like Shadowplay. But I would say it's even better since you can customize it more. And I would say it's even smoother. We'll get to the audio later. So for this, they'll say CBR, VBR, lossless, and don't do lossless. Just do CQP. I think that stands for like constant quality pixels or something like that. I don't know, but it doesn't matter. So for CQP, do not do it any lower than 15, but do not do it any higher than 20. So if you're lagging, try setting it to 20. If your PC is powerful enough, try setting it as low as you can so you can get the best quality possible, but don't go under 15. 15 is the lowest you want. This, it doesn't really matter, but you can play around with it if you're still lagging, but I wouldn't really mess with it. I would just keep it on default. For this, doesn't matter. You just want it on, I think you could just leave it on main because that's what I do. I just don't mess with it. For level, this doesn't matter. Just leave it auto. But you do want use 2-pass encoding, and then GPU you don't need. I think this is if you're SLIing, because I don't know what else that is for if it's not for SLI. Now you want to go to the audio tab. So whichever one has your mic, I think it's the second one. Well, just in case, you just choose like 192 on both of them if you don't know which one's the mic. But the rest you can leave at 128. It doesn't matter. But you only need to have the highest audio on your mic, but you could just leave if you wanted to. If you wanted to have the file size is smaller, but you still want to have good quality with audio and video, you could just leave it at 128 for everything. But I just choose 192 to sound a little better. I don't really care about the file sizes. That's why. I mean, on average, I think it's like a gigabyte for a 5-minute video or like a 1 or 2 minute. I don't remember, but that's how big my videos are. And so it takes forever to upload to YouTube for some reason. Now, this you don't have to worry about. You don't have to worry about streaming. Audio you do. So this, I would recommend 48, unless your headset or mic or whatever does not support it. Now this, obviously leave it at stereo. Desktop, you want a default. For this, you want like, if you have like a voice program like Skype or TeamSpeak or something, you're gonna have to manually configure it to set it to your you're gonna have to configure it to your headset if that's what you use, or your speaker. You'd have to manually do that in the Skype or TeamSpeak or Discord or whatever. So this basically records a separate audio track for Skype. Now I don't know what these two do. I wouldn't mess with that. Just do that for your voice program if you want to talk to your friends. This, just leave it for your games. This this is the most important. This is for your microphone, the mic auxiliary audio device, and these two you don't have to worry about. Now, this, you can choose it whatever resolution you want. Well, base, you want to leave it as your monitor's resolution, but if you can actually, what you can do if you want to do it at 720p, you can just set your monitor to 1280 by 720. But I think it works if you have a game, or if you set the game resolution to 1280 by 720, it'll actually record at that without losing any quality. But never scale it. Just always leave it at none, or the highest for output scale resolution. This, you want it to be as high as possible. You don't want it any less than bicubic. You want at least bicubic, but I recommend this lensos. For this, doesn't really matter. Just don't do this one, because this one sucks. You either want to use this one, or you want to use this one, but it doesn't matter. But this, I think probably is like a little bit smoother, but I'm not too sure. But in my experience, I think it's a little smoother. It's just, I don't know, I'm just more used to it. This is just if you want to set it to whatever frame rate you want. Like you could record at 30, or like 35, or like 40, or like 45, or 50 even, or even 52. I don't know why you would want to record at 52, but I can understand 50, or maybe even 55, but that'd be kind of weird, or 56, or even 58 if you're having like screen tearing issues or something. But I just leave it at 60. But I'm just gonna go back to this since it just, I don't know, it's just more smoother on YouTube for some reason. I don't know why, in my experience. This doesn't really matter, just set whatever hotkey you want for your recording. I just leave mine as the same as the recording so that I can just press one button. It'd be simple and be easy, no complications, and I can remember it. And it won't mess me up in game. Advanced, this doesn't matter. You could have it either have it above normal or normal, but if your like computer is slowing down, I would just choose normal. But if I'd say do above normal, but if it starts getting laggy, just do normal. But I wouldn't do high, and I would not do idle. This, if you have NVIDIA, obviously do Direct3D 11. I'm not sure what AMD uses. I think they use OpenGL, I think. I could be wrong, but I'm just going to cancel that for a second. But for advanced, it used to be like an advanced tab over here somewhere, but that was in the old OBS. But so after hotkeys, you go here, above normal, Direct3D 11 for if you have an NVIDIA graphics card. Then you do NV12. You don't want to do this one, and you don't want to do that one. And I think for AMD, it automatically does RGB, or if you have Intel, just RGB, I think is what it uses. But if you have NVIDIA, do NV12. This, I don't really know what it does. You can play around with it, but I wouldn't mess with it. Same with that. I think these are for if you have like an IPS monitor or something. I'm not too sure. This, you don't have to mess with. You don't have to mess with any of this, and then that's really it for that, for like setting it up. Now what you could do is, it's not settings, and if you want to have like separate profiles where it doesn't mess up your settings and you want to just have it save and be right there so you can remember it, you do profile and new, and then you can set it to whatever name you want and whatever setting. Like you could have multiple, you could have as many as you want actually, and you could do like a live streaming profile or like a recording profile, and you could configure it all differently and it won't mess anybody up. Now for your mic, I just chose it at 110, but I normally just actually, here's what I'm going to do. I don't think you're supposed to be at 110. I think you're supposed to have 70, 70, and 100. These things are what you're supposed to do. I heard like your audio like messes up if you do higher than 100. So I would just leave this at 100 and leave this at like 70 or 75, and same here. Now, if your Skype is too quiet, I would do like 80. But if it's fine, just leave it at 70. And if your game's too quiet, just maybe set it to 75 or 80. But I wouldn't do higher than 80 because you want to hear your own mic, don't you? Now, this, it'll automatically have all these checked. Just have the mic be first, then have your like Skype second, and then have your game third. And that's really it. Now, just do add scene if you don't know what to do, and then you do add. So if you want to record your monitor like how I do it, I think it's it's display capture. This is what you do. But it's not working right now. game capture. So what you would normally want to do, I think it's display capture for your monitor on here, but I wouldn't use this for capturing on your monitor since it's kind of weird. It's just, I would really just stick with gameplay on this. So for this, just do game capture. It'll show like, just do window, and it'll if do the whatever game you're playing. Like if you're playing Rocket League, for example, just pick the window that's Rocket League.exe and just click OK. This you don't have to mess with it either. Just leave it alone. This you want it to be executable name, because otherwise it'll start having issues. This is if you want to like do gameplay and your monitor screen or whatever. So if you're doing like a tutorial kind of thing, you might want to do capture in full screen, but otherwise I'll just leave this alone and just do all this crap and just choose the one that's the game. And that's pretty much it. I mean, you could just press OK, and then I'll just do cancel that, but that's really all there is to it. Thank you all for watching. I'm out of here.